Employment opportunities. The Powell River Company was very beneficial to graduates attending university and senior high school students who had reached the age of 17. They were able to work at the local pulp, paper, and sawmill complex on a part-time basis. The students could work weekends and holidays, filling in for full-time employees who were taking time off for various reasons. I recall receiving $19.30 a shift in 1959. We loved the extra differential paid on 4 to 12 and graveyard shifts. After school on Fridays, many students would rush home to see if there was a phone message. We all looked forward to receiving a call from Chuck Wilcox telling us we had a shift or two. Sometimes the personnel folks did not know until the last minute that a worker was not going to show up. Frantically, they had to make calls to find a replacement. Often when I got home, my mom would tell me to call Mr. Wilcox or hand me a lunch bucket and tell me to go to work. Waiting for a call was somewhat agonizing. I decided to be proactive and call the Wilcox home, leaving a message I was available if needed. This worked well. I got to know Mrs. Wilcox on a first-name basis and believe Sis was responsible for me getting many shifts. Students worked in different areas of the mill, including paper machines, stock preparation, steam plant, sawmill, and Kelly spruce lumber. We also worked with the yard crew, shipping, lumber barge loading, the clay shed, or as helpers with various tradesmen. University students would come home to work during the summer vacation. They were given preferential treatment as this helped pay for their education. Many kids who worked at the mill were able to finance some form of transportation. Often vehicles were pretty meager, but transportation independence at age 17 was pretty special. Several of my friends found permanent work at the mill after they finished high school. Personnel staff had knowledge of many as casual workers and knew their work ethic and reliability. In my graduating year, I was wondering what my life would hold for me. What job would be satisfying? When do I make my choice? My father had been a journeyman welder and said, if you get a trade, you won't go wrong. I was quite mechanical and liked a challenge. My friend Ian Black had been awarded an electrical apprenticeship at the mill a year earlier. This choice tweaked my interest. The mill sent a representative from their personnel department to Max Cameron High School to tell potential graduating students they were hiring and that some apprenticeships were available. They provided a list of them and other available jobs. If students were interested, they could take an application form and apply. The representative said if taking an apprenticeship was appealing, you could make up to 3 choices of different trades. After considerable thought, I decided to apply for only the electrical trade. I stated that if I could not get that choice, I would look elsewhere. I felt you would not show dedication to one trade if you're open to several. June 1961, my attendance was requested at the mill's personnel office. The manager, Mr. Stuart Slade, informed me the apprenticeship committee had selected me to join the electrical department. I started my 3-month probation trial July 19th. Part of my apprenticeship agreement was that I was obligated to take an international correspondence school course specific to electricity. The company would provide 4 paid hours every Monday morning for study time. Apprentices would meet at the mill main office to learn about their chosen trade. Each trade had its own appropriate ICS lessons, and an exam would be given at the end of each. Wages were increased as you passed each test. In my case, this occurred throughout my 5 years. My starting wage was $1.67 an hour. The electrical department's responsibility was to maintain and repair the electrical equipment and install any new electrical construction in all areas of the mill. A new apprenticeship program was established in 1965. The company and union agreed that all non-journeymen working in trades were considered apprentices. The various apprenticeships included prescribed training at Burnaby Vocational School, along with the mill experience in the trades. Upon completion and passing the final exam, one would qualify for journeyman certification. The first electrical group to go to school was comprised of Danny McMaster, Wendell Stewart, Ken Fleming, and me. My three partners were all long-term electrical workers who had received their experience working with journeymen and carrying out electrical maintenance. They were given credit for their many years of work, but required to pass the final exam. This was their first venture into formal training. It was years since they had been to school. Stress was at an extreme level. I was the last electrical apprenticeship on the old program and was required to write the final exam of the new one. Our final fifth year's 8-week schooling included a review of the first 4 years of curriculum plus the final exam. After passing the exam, all 4 of us received our electrical journeyman's interprovincial certification at a formal presentation held at the Powell River Golf Club. This is equivalent to today's Red Seal qualification, which allows one to work anywhere in North America. The company was very generous in sponsorships of local organizations and sports teams. They went out of their way to hire sportsmen who could enhance the strength of local teams representing Powell River. They also funded and hired individuals who played in the local pipe band. This pipe band traveled all around the world, competing and making us proud. Our town was very fortunate and benefited greatly by having a caring, community-minded main employer. The Powell River Company, known later as McMinnville-Dale Powell River Division, did this job.